All right, what are you talking about, man?
So, dudes are doing these like these video memes on Instagram or TikTok, and it'll have something saying like I've been grinding for 10 years and nobody's listening to my music. And then the thing he'll say his music and he'll be playing a song. I keep the chopper on my side. Yo, lay hoo. I'm gonna hit it from the back. Yo, lay hoo. Like he yodeling when he rapping and shit. It's pretty much saying like the shit is trash. And there's a bunch of them like it was saying like when you send a nigga a beat and you want the beat back after you hear the song. It's funny as hell, bro.
That's how like Toad type of topic right there.
My type of topic.
When somebody needs to give up the rap career. Sound like exactly what we're talking about. You need to quit. You need to quit.
Definitely. You know me well enough to know that you reach a stage in life, you got to cut that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if you ain't already made it at that age, don't start new hobbies. Don't all of a sudden you the man with the you and build a studio in your basement. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you want to invite young motherfuckers over to see your soundproof basement, but your soundproof shit keep falling off the wall because it's damn brick. It's brick, and the brick don't stick with the stucco that you put on the walls. So the vibration of the music coming out of your subwoofers that you got out your cousin's car and use them as studio equipment isn't working. So this is a PSA for all the niggas who think they can rap or they can make beats and they 43 plus. Damn, you all right over there, Jake? You keep itching and scratching and shit. What? What's going on with you? You've been taking too much tussing. You know, you got you
too much tussing. Man, I'm cool, man. Leave me alone.
Hey man, you got that. Hey man, you got
that tussing is. You want some more of that tussing?
I ain't put no lotion on today. Leave me alone, nigga. Shit.
All right. You used to be the prom queen. Like just a tussing face.
Prom thing. Oh shit.
Man, but anyway, let's get the motion going. Let's get the energy up. Let's get it moving. We almost to the 100 mark, man. We got 2 more to go before we get there. Today is Mask Off, episode 98, Showstopper, Beat Bopper in the place to be. With my man up under me, Mask Off Jake. What it do?
What's up, y'all? Feeling good, feeling great. Don't worry, I'm all right. Just despite the scratching, I just didn't put lotion on. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, been a good week. Getting shit done. It's dope. You know what I'm saying? Got a haircut. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty crispy. Found my reconnected with my my old barber. You know, I ain't got a cut from him since before the pandemic. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was cool. Cool to chop it up with him again. That was dope. Yeah.
How was that? Was this your first cut? First cut
from
the shutdown?
No. I've had multiple cuts.
But not from him.
Not from my barber, because I had to find another one because I couldn't, like, I didn't know where he was at. Because he had a shop down the street from my crib, but in the shutdown he lost that, and then he wasn't answering the phone and stuff like that, so I couldn't, I didn't know where he was at.
Oh, he went underground.
Yeah, he went underground. Clientele only.
Well,
elite clientele.
Well, he did go underground. He's cutting at his house in the basement, so yeah, he literally underground.
You know, those prices went up when they went underground.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They say, hey, look, man, I remember my barber, man. He cool dude. Why barber's so cool, man? I ain't never seen a barber that just a nut. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another thing.
You man, I have seen barber.
Are you serious?
Oh, okay. Well, maybe they're not. But the thing about me is like, I don't want my barber to just be talking just a bunch of bullshit throughout the whole cut. Like, I can't. First off, like, I don't like small talk to start off. So like when like you're just constantly trying to make small talk, I'm like, okay, all right, whatever. But then when they just keep talking about stuff, I'm like, yo, man, just focus on this. Focus on making this the best that you can do. Like, I don't need the conversation.
I don't know. I want somebody to talk to me. I'm sitting in a chair, and
most people do.
It's uncomfortable. A nigga touching your head, and he lying. He getting you. He you know that touch. It's an uncomfortable touch when he getting you.
Move your head this way, all kind of ways. And shit.
You feel the fingertips of a motherfucker fingertips on your face, and they lining you up, and they fingertip is like touching right there, raising.
They touch your chin, like pull your chin up.
Yeah. A slight touch, not a major touch. It's
like this kind of intimate, man. I feel weird.
Hey, do y'all keep your head at the same spot where they last placed it, or do y'all move back to your normal spot?
No, you never move back to your normal spot. You keep it where it's at.
Okay.
Tell me that. All right, you go back to the other shit now.
right. Yeah, y'all can move it where y'all need to be. So
yeah,
glad that's not just me then, because I thought that.
Well, some barbers are good. Some barbers.
I would keep my head like this while they go switch their clippers out. I'm like, yo.
Yo, and then the famous cooperation piece is when you get to the ears, you be like, yo, do me a favor, can you hold that part down? And you be like, okay, cool, I got it.
So I remember one time my homie was lining me up. I was getting lined up in the Kroger break room actually, because I needed a cut.
Okay.
Hey, that's what I was doing at the time. So I remember one time he was lining me up, and his clipper, he was lining me up behind my ear, and his clippers was vibrating on my ear, and the shit kind of like it tickled and shit. And I was like, I kept jerking this way. He was like, "What's wrong with you, dog? Like, what's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Man, anyway." I was like, "Man, that shit tickled." He was like, nigga, He was just weird. He just went super homophobic, like, but I didn't want to say this shit, man. It was weird, man. I don't know, man. Get your haircut.
What do you say though? What's up, man? You know what? You just gave me a slight sensation that
I
was uncomfortable, but I'm working through it.
Yeah. There's some barbers that like they're real good. Like they ain't gotta like do this. They ain't gotta do that. They can cut you just from wherever position your head is.
I don't trust them either.
But like you know what I'm saying? But those are the ones that just you know what I'm saying? They just move your fucking head like a joystick and shit all the fucking time. It's like go this way, and all this shit. That should be getting on my nerves.
Once I cut my hair, bro, I knew it was a wrap for me. I was in the pool with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Because the prices my barber was getting me, it was gravy. You know what I'm saying? He was charging me $20, $10 for me, 10 for my young boy. And then he said, he kind of forewarned me because I was like talking about it. I was like, hey, bro, I'm thinking about cutting my hair. And so he cutting my hair and he like lining my beard up and everything. He said, you cut your hair, I may have to go up. See, that was the thing. I may have to go up. But once I cut it, he's like, nigga, you in the same boat with everybody. It's 45. I was like, oh my God.
And Jake, when you decided to, or when you had to find a new guy, how many did you go through?
I just went to it was just one. I just found another dude.
You not okay.
No, you're not dedicated.
You real low maintenance. Hey man, just chop my shit up, bro.
No, it wasn't like low maintenance. It was just like you know what I'm saying? There's a plaza next to where next to the condos I live at, and I was walking over there and I just saw a dude and like the guy who was cutting, you doing a good job with his shit. So I was like fuck it, just give it a shot. And he did a good job with my shit. So, you know.
No, I take you through a whole gauntlet of shit you must be able to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was similar to like the guy who cut mine, you know, so it was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
As long as you can fade me up, you know what I'm saying? That's it. You know.
When I'm looking, my person can't talk too much. They can't give me like too strong of a black man fade, really. like, let's not do a full like just give me something that's presentable. Like I don't need to look like an R&B singer, all right? Let's not do that. And they can't be trying to make their own lineups. Just go with the lineup I got, man. Yes, it's not completely straight, but just go with my natural lineup because that will look best. Like, don't be trying to make its own perfect square lineup.
In other words, don't push my shit back.
Yeah, don't push my shit back. You never want nobody to push
the main thing. If you
if
you don't push my shit back, you doing a good job. That's the main.
I've seen cats with they lining all the way the fuck back.
All the way back there.
All the way back. And I'm like, how does that even work with you, bro? And then they decide to grow hair out. And then when they grow their hair out, you know, they got this little this patch right here. And then they tell them, I'm about to get braids. How the fuck you growing braids and the front part ain't there? It don't work. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Hey, man. When you bald and you want to grow your hair out, let him live his best life, man.
Okay.
Like Chico Bean, man. Let that man live his life.
Hey, you know what? I'm not talking about like bald people. I'm talking about, matter of fact, we ain't even done no introduction. I guess we can do an introduction now. We just went straight to the convo. But everybody know who I am. This is Big Tone, and this is Mask Off episode 98. And this episode is called Showstopper. And I think I spoke with Jake. We're gonna go to Dan. What up, Dan? How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, man, I'm good. This week's been good. I've liked the warm. We've had a few warm days here. We had a warm day on St. Patty's, which is not a good mix. but yeah, man, those things are good. As Tone would know, a warm day around Greek town is not a good day for anything.
Nope. I'm so blessed to not be in that mess, baby. I'm so blessed.
It was as described. So it
was. Imagine me down there. No, fuck no. I'm not doing it no more. You know what I mean? Young boy, what's good with you, man? You know,
what up, though?
Good to see you, man. What it do?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I needed some rest apparently, but I'm feeling good. I'm glad to be here today, man. I'm glad to be on with my fellas, and excited to have our guest on as well. Yeah, so I'm geeked up, man. I'm geeked up. Had a good day. I had a couple plays with Beat the Streets lately, so we've been doing it big. I love it.
Oh, okay. That's probably why you're so tired. You've been beating the streets.
Yeah, man. You know, when you are fighting crime through a different route, it's a little, it wears on you a little bit. But
you know what, man? I'm gonna do this, and I'm sure we so late in the game. We 15 minutes, going on 15 minutes in the game. So the only thing I could do is pass the ball back to you with the no looker, so you can get that motivational minute. Go ahead, kick it off.
What up, though? Today's motivational minute is about staying in the posture of a student. You have to understand that every game that you're in is a never-ending cycle of learning. And whenever you get out of that posture of a student and you feel like you know it all, then you can't learn anymore. You feel like your capacity has reached, which it never does. If you feel like you can continually learn, you will. If you continually be a sponge, you'll continue to soak up the game. But if you feel like you've reached a level, you're not, and then that's how you fall quickly when you feel like you have it all. Continue to be a student of the game. That's your motivational minute.
You know what? That reminded me of, I don't know if anybody ever read the 38 Laws of Power. That reminded me of
48.
48, I'm sorry, thank you. Where it says, never outshine the master.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And I was like, that's the first thing I thought of when you said that. And that's interesting. You know, that you would bring that up. Wow. But it means a lot, man. Like when you humble, you receiving information, you always come from a perspective where you always learning. You always learning, and you soaking up information to digest. But if you think you know it all, you can't retain it. You know what I mean? It's blocking you blocking your everything that you hit. You know what I mean? Everything that you're trying to receive is getting blocked.
Yep.
You know?
Because you feel like you already got it. So you're not even open.
What you say, Dan?
Yeah, man, that blocks your growth.
Yep.
In some ways, you just get stuck there because it's like you feel like you made it. So it's like, well, this is it. So what else is there to learn? And like, you don't move anywhere from that spot. So yeah.
You know, and that's why, you know, and I know the young boy feels the same. That's why I love LeBron James, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like they gave him a platform when he was a young boy, and he never stopped soaking in information, learning about different things with the league and outside of the league. And he just like, he's on top, but because he's on top, he like, that don't mean nothing. I can learn more. I can know more. I can, you know, give me your knowledge. Give me that shit.
Yeah. Stay hungry.
He's like a monster for knowledge.
Absolutely. And that's what separates, you know, people in their particular fields is who's willing to want to continue to learn as much as they can, you know.
Hey Jake,
what's going on with Jake? What's going on with Jake, man?
I don't know. You got some thoughts, Jake? What's going on, man?
Nothing. I was laughing at a text I just got. That's all. I'll share it with y'all after the show. Yeah, always, yeah. Malachi, I love it. Always be a student of the game. There's always something to learn. No matter what, no matter how good or great you are at something, there's just always room for growth. Always, so always, like even when you like teaching or whatever, you always gotta have that like that mind state of like, oh, I can still learn from peers or whatever, no matter how much of a master or something you are. So yeah, that's dope. I fucks with it.
No, Jake. What is the bull doing? What is the bull doing, Jake?
Dropping infinite jewels.
No doubt.
Is
Dan talking to us? Is Dan talking?
Yes, I was talking just shit about Jake, really.
Jake didn't even hear that.
I was saying, yeah, that's why Jake keeps that globe in the background, you know. You gotta constantly learn shit, you know. You gotta constantly learn stuff on the back.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. You could have kept that bullshit. Whatever.
Yo, we deep in the game. We 20 minutes in, man, and already, man, the energy is up. The energy is high, you know. And what I want to go to, I want to see if we got somebody in this chat before we go to the group discussion. What's popping in these chats, man?
Yes, sir. I got the mask off chat up. Oh, okay. Playing that in chat, we got. Oh, okay.
What Jake's chat is going crazy apparently.
Yeah.
Both the YouTubes are, you know.
Oh, well, on the and nothing on the Facebooks either. So yeah.
This is going to be an interesting night.
You could have said something,
right?
Yeah.
He went in first, so I'm like, oh, all right, whatever, go ahead.
Nah, you know, it's just like you don't want to say it's nothing there. You don't want to speak that, like.
I mean, nothing
there.
Nothing there.
Ain't shit popping.
Right.
We tried. We trying, but ain't shit popping. But check this out, man. For everybody who is watching, you know what I'm saying? Everyone who is participating and saying what's up and being a part of what we doing, I just want to give a big shout out on behalf of all four of us, man, for rocking with us. This is episode 98, Showstopper. So we about to get straight into the group discussion with our special guest, Renee Henry. What I'm gonna do, she's a singer, songwriter, actress, and a model. She is a double bubble, triple double, of quadruple maneuverable. No, I tried with that one, but anyway,
that's what it's called. That's the name of it.
Yeah, a quadruple maneuverable. So I'm gonna pass it to my young boy, man, and he gonna tell us a little bit about her and bring her in, say what he got to do. Showstopper 98 episode, mask off. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Showstopper. Appropriate title when we were voting for this name of this show. I said this is very appropriate for her. This is my good friend, close friend of mine. We've known each other for a little over 2 years now, and we've met through a virtual world. But, you know, being able to connect physically and stuff and just have a good time and just be able to grow in our arts. I'm just super excited to have her on. Let's give a warm mask off welcome to Renee Henry, everybody.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
How's it going?
Whoa, wow. She coming in with the
right.
entrance, the major entrance.
You got the Wizard of Oz voice on, like.
Hello.
Right.
Nice to see you all. Nice to see you all.
Can you see us?
I can.
Okay. We can't see you.
Yeah, we can't see you. You're
okay.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
You see her, Dan?
I can't see her at all, Dan.
Refresh here.
You see her, Jake?
Nope, nothing.
Still
so why Dan see her? We don't. So is it
I see all of you.
That's weird.
My screen says everyone can see and hear you.
That's not true.
Okay.
Well,
you're frozen.
If you can see me, what color eyes I have?
Well, you're not close enough to the screen, but you have a mask off hat on. You're kind of dipping your head a little low. Okay, you're looking back. You're making a smirk on your face with cheese and now.
We got the play-by-play.
Okay. But no, we can't see you, so I'm assuming that the people can't either. Just because Dan say that he can see you, that he says fuck everybody else. But
Dan said she's fine.
Now I can't see you.
Okay.
Try to log off and log back in, Renee. See if that works.
Will do. All right.
Okay. Well, so
but yeah, I can run down what she does a little bit, and she'll, of course, talk more about it when she gets back. She's an actress, a singer, a songwriter, voiceover artist. She also does some things in the business world on her own bakery company. She's a phenomenal at that. Seeing some of the things, the cakes that she made, it's like you don't really know how multifaceted somebody is until you see them in this whole different world. And it's like, that came from your hands, like that came from your mind. You know, she made this princess cake one time and showed me a picture of it, and I was like amazed. You know, and it's just amazing to see people have these multiple abilities. Like I said, singer and songwriter as well. There you go.
There you go.
Yes. So yeah, let's tell a little bit about who you are.
Well, my name is Renee Henry. I am a singer, actress, songwriter, and a model. I wear many, many other hats. However, I think Malachi had me on here for some of the ones that were named. I have been a performing artist for, I'm going to be telling my age, 35 years. And I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. I moved to New York City about 4 years ago now. Wow, it's been 4 years. And I originally moved here to go to pastry school, but made the switch to work on my acting career, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Shout out to PG County. County.
That's dope.
I be in these streets.
All right, fam.
So did you go to any, you went to pastry school. Did you go to school for acting at all?
I did not attend schools specifically for acting. I do take acting classes currently. However, I took some college courses in acting, and when I was in, I want to say elementary and middle school, I did some drama classes. So.
Okay, interesting. I want to kind of dive a little deeper into your acting world to start out with the questions here. With when it comes to acting, theater versus film, that's always a big conversation. You know, both are acting, you know, film and theater, but they're two different worlds. And one, what's your favorite? And two, what you think the differences are between the two?
Well, I don't have a favorite. I don't like to dabble in comparing one to the other and saying that, oh, one is better than the other. I enjoy them both equally. And it's just that each demands a different energy from me. At least with theater, there's a lot more room for expansion. Everything's bigger in theater. As where film, you're confined to just the lens of a camera. I think both of them have their challenges. The theater itself, you get one shot in front of an audience, as where with film, you got to do it over and over again. You got several chances to make up or mess up, and with theater, it's a one-shot deal. So I think both offer loads of exploration, and they have their challenges as well. So I enjoy them both equally.
Very interesting.
Hey, can we talk about how your last 5 years or so? So because I haven't heard anything where somebody moves and then makes the career switch there. So like that was so that was unique. So how did you? So what was that thought process? You moved for pastry school, and then what made you decide to do the career change once you got to New York?
Well, one quick question for you before I answer your question. Is there a way to turn this so that I don't keep popping up on the screen? Like, because when I start talking, my face takes over the whole screen, and I can't see.
Dan is controlling that.
Oh yeah.
Is that you? Okay,
yeah.
Well, never mind. It's just when I'm talking to you, it look like I'm talking to myself. But
would you prefer to stay seeing us?
I do like to look at who I'm talking to, but it's okay. It's all right.
She said, "Is there a way you could not do what you're doing?" Excuse me.
You not produce?
No. You're doing your job. I will not step on your toes at all. So, to answer your question about making the switch, I have always been a performing artist, as I said, since I was 3 years old. So I have always had a foot, a toe, a little finger in some form of entertainment, whether it is performing on stage, and that would include both theater and live performances. I was also in two different cover bands for that period of time where I was transitioning from moving to DC to New York. So at that time, I was doing live performances with a wedding band, and that was in DC. So I would commute from DC on the weekends back to New York during the week for school, and I was back and forth. And
take that train.
Oh yeah, train bus. I can get there, right?
I know.
And so for me, it really became a matter of I enjoy my art. I also got to make some money, and coming from a family where I have West Indian in my blood, I have always had about 3 or 4 jobs at a time. It's nothing for me to take on multiple jobs. But what I wanted to do was build the skills that I had. So for me, I wanted to make sure that while I'm in school, I'm still performing. I always love to sing. I've been singing forever. So I found some open mic events in the city to go to. And that was the door for me to just continue performing. I left the pop band in DC, or I should say we parted ways. And once I was in New York full time, I started to look for events and little things where I could either perform or just be a part of the audience and then maybe get pulled up to perform. So I did a couple of open mics and this and that. And when I was, graduating, was it? Yeah, I was actually graduating. 2018, I graduated pastry school in May. And I was having a conversation with my aunt, and something just said to me, I've always wanted to act on camera, but never had the courage or the skill set to do so, or at least so I thought. And after having a conversation with my aunt, I said, I have to go all in. And that's exactly what she told me. She said, you're either going to do it or you're not going to do it, but you can't just be in between. I should mention that the aunt I'm referring to is Cicely Tyson, who passed away last January. However, she was very instrumental in my career navigating towards on-camera acting.
Wow.
That is so super dope.
Yeah, it is.
That is so super dope. Cicely Tyson, she changed my life in so many ways.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard that so many times from so many people. And what it says to me is her life meant something to more than just me, more than just my cousins, my sisters, my family. She was, I don't like to use the term icon. She was a wonderful woman. A wonderful woman.
That's very inspirational here. And it's often difficult to make that full transition to chase your dreams, because a lot of times we don't feel like we can do it, and having that inner confidence. So to be able to be positioned to have someone like that in your life to be able to push you really off that edge to really go, because a lot of people live from the practical world and they really leave in their artist world that they really love and love in their hearts. So I'm glad to see you able to make that jump. But I want to talk about a little bit more about your relationship with her, if you could. And I know you went to Georgia recently as well. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure I get the name correctly. The Black Excellence Walk of Fame for Music and Entertainment. I know I butchered that name, but my aunt was a posthumous winner of this award. And while I was in California, her former agent reached out and asked if a family member could be present at that event. And her daughter, I had a conversation with her, and she felt that this was an excellent way to honor such wonderful people of color, brown people, honoring their work, their life's work in the way that they've honored them. So just to let you know a little bit about this organization, the way that this idea came about to honor these legends, living and posthumous, was in Atlanta, Georgia, right near the Mercedes Stadium, was to install these jewels. Basically, they're called Jewels of Excellence, into the ground right around the stadium. And it's on Martin Luther King Jr. I'm not sure if it's Boulevard or Avenue, but this was their answer to Hollywood's stars, the stars on the ground. So for us being there and seeing this, it was amazing to see so many people just being honored and recognizing that we don't have a Hollywood, but we're making our own. And folks like Quincy Jones and Tyler Perry and Yolanda Adams, Donald Lawrence, CeCe and BB Winans, Wyclef Jean and Lauryn Hill, all of these folks, either representatives or themselves, they were at the event. And I can honestly say my aunt was being recognized amongst so many wonderful artists of both entertainment and music. And the highlight of it for me was seeing Berry Gordy's grandson on stage and reciting words that his grandfather wrote, and a poem that he wrote just about brown people and how legendary and creative and amazing we all are in our own ways. So it just says to me, the generations of excellence will continue with us as long as we strive to make those goals and dreams that we all set for ourselves happen. So that event was this past February. It was fantastic. It was absolutely fantastic. I had a great time meeting quite a few people, including Jermaine Dupri's father. He's one of the folks who headed this event up. So yeah, absolutely wonderful event. So, yeah.
amongst some great company, and I'm sure you fit right in. So that's beautiful.
Well, I strive to.
Yes, indeed. I want to talk about the example of grace and elegance, because I see that same, grace and elegance on your life, and understanding that what it takes, and for you to even, like I said, being able to carry yourself amongst this type of event. So I want to talk about the importance of reputation and how you carry yourself and what that does for a career like you have.
Okay. So I won't touch on private conversations I've had with her, but one thing that I was always taught by my parents, even outside of what society places on you when you get out into the world. My parents always taught us, you be a lady. Be a lady, regardless of whatever's going on around you, whatever anyone else is doing. Always be a lady. So I carry myself as a lady. I encourage my nieces to be ladies. My sisters embody just the meaning of being a lady. You carry yourself with elegance and grace. I got a lot of that from my aunt. I also got a lot of that from the women in my family. My father continues always treating us with ladies. He never even called us girls. He always calls us ladies. And there's just something about that. I'm always open to a gentleman opening the door for me or picking up the check if that's the way that route is going. Or it's always been that way since I've been raised. And I guess I come from a generation where that was being phased out, but we still had it. So we got to see a lot of it and we can appreciate it. My father would always edge us inside the sidewalk so that he was always walking on the outside. So I grew up with that and I always appreciated that. When I saw that chivalry was always questioned with my friends and even in college, I would look around and say, well, that wasn't how I was raised. And I didn't judge people for their choices. However, I didn't change who I was to suit that environment. I just maintained and stayed firm to my own beliefs. I believe in carrying yourself as a lady. If you're a gentleman, carry yourself as a gentleman. Using that in this industry, I believe it takes you even further. Okay. I know how to communicate with people as my father raised me, up, down, and sideways. So if I'm in a room with people, I don't become a shrinking flower, or that's not my style. And yeah, one of the women I actually model a lot of my mannerisms after is Diane Carroll. Wow. Diane Carroll was absolutely crucial to a lot of my work once I committed to becoming a full-time actress. I watch everything she does, from Dynasty to A Different World. I watch everything she does. I watch how she moves, how she speaks. And I watch the interviews that she had. One of the main ones that she had was talking about her breast cancer, and she spoke with such poise and such grace. It was like watching just pure grace and elegance right in front of me. And it was always that way with her. So yeah, I model a lot of my work and the way I carry myself, like the greats that I grew up knowing.
I love it. OG, you have something?
No, I mean, I just wanted to touch on the whole being a lady part, man. Like it's remarkable to hear that you it's remarkable to hear in a world today where ratchet is the new acceptance, you know what I mean? And having a sense of grace, so to speak, is not shunned upon, because in today's society, we're bombarded with the ideal of, WAP and, the disrespect of women, you know what I mean? And one of the key things about our culture is women thrive our culture. They push the culture forward and they set the tone on what's acceptable and what's not acceptable behavior for men to do toward our women. And when I see a young lady as yourself, I'm saying it with no disrespect, but I'm saying it in regards to I'm considered to be the old head of everyone that's here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying that, and when I see someone like you embodying that and bringing that and just being emboldened in that, I find that very, very uplifting and remarkable to see. So I salute you. I salute you, and that's dynamic. That's dynamic, man.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to talk about you inside at the recent event you were at. You were talking about various names and just based on the list that came from like a diverse group of genres and things. So from Jermaine Dupri to BB and CC Winans, which is two separate things. Well, sometimes, but and then you talked about how you were inside two bands as well. So I wanted to know what type of genres do you perform, and what are like your favorite genres, and who influences your own personal style.
So in terms of my music,
yeah,
well, again, I don't really have favorites, but of all that I do perform, I don't have any limitations aside from heavy metal, which I don't think really is a lot of vocal performing unless you call it screaming. No disrespect to the heavy metal crew. However, I perform all genres from classical music to gospel, R&B, hip hop, jazz, you name it, I've done it. So those are the types of music I do perform. My personal music that I write is more, I would say it's probably more on the pop, R&B, soul categories, mainly because of whatever it is that I'm feeling or thinking in that moment. That's what I'll just pick up a pen and start writing. And then my producer will just add the track. So those, I hope I answered your question, but those are typically the genres I stick to.
So I have a question. Now we talk about music. So what would you consider to be like your vocal range? Alto, soprano, tenor? What would you?
I'm a mezzo soprano.
Okay. All right. Look at you.
Never even heard of that.
I do apologize. I didn't answer the rest of your question. You asked me my influences, and I just recalled that. I would go back as far as I grew up with Whitney, and I mean 80s Whitney, like the white wife beater and jeans.
How will I know?
Yeah.
You love me.
Exactly. I not only did I appreciate her gospel voice, but I absolutely loved her singing voice for pop. She was my introduction to music. The first song that I do remember her singing was the national anthem when she sang it back in the 80s. And as a child, I had never heard singing like that in my life. My other male influence is my father, who sang in church. And at age 3, my mother tells the story, I stood up on the pew and said, "That's my daddy." And I'm a daddy's girl. Every time I hear my father sing, it is pure music and just love in everything that he sings. And so those were my introductions to music, my inspirations to continue in music. I would have to say it will always be 80s Whitney for me. I also enjoy Donnell Jones, Donny Hathaway, females. I like early Alicia Keys, like early.
Yeah.
And I listen to a plethora of. I'm again 80s baby, so a lot of 80s hip hop is what I grew up on. So I was just jamming out to my cleaning music is Trap Called Quest. I listen to the Roots. You name Common, I go further back.
Okay.
You down with OPP? That's what I clean to. That's the music that I rock out to. But those are my inspirations.
Yeah, that's Tony Jake's lane right there.
Oh yes. Hey.
Yeah, look at Jake. He's like, yeah, all right. I'm gonna sit up.
You're like, I got a question.
I'm gonna sit up.
Hey.
I'm gonna sit up.
What's your
What do you think about KRS One?
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? So would you think
Y'all
the
think y'all know me? Hey, shut up. Shut up.
He's about to say, I
Stop it.
swear, Renee, he was gonna say, so do you think KRS-One
Nah,
philosophy
I wasn't gonna say that.
you know, the Bronx, you know.
Right. I do want to ask, because you do a lot, singing, you write songs, you act, you do plays, you do voiceovers, modeling. What is the one? I know you don't have favorites, and I know singing was kind of your start, but I kind of want to say favorite, but what's that one that? Okay, these are all good. Like you got a hand, right? I might reach for my index first. What's that one?
Yeah. Well, what's the one that currently drives your passion?
I would have. It's tough because music and acting go hand in hand for me, which is why the films that I'm in now, I'm singing in those films. It's difficult to segregate those, but if you're making me choose, I will say to my actor friends and people, it's acting. I would say to my music people, it's music.
Oh my goodness.
And I knew she was gonna do that. I felt it.
That's cheating.
For an artist, like that's towing a line. Because how are you gonna have me tell all of my music people that acting?
Okay. All right. So I got a more specific question here.
Sure.
If you got 2 film opportunities on the table, one, both lead roles.
Y'all know where this is going, right? Malachi, I love you, man. Come on.
I need answers.
Yes.
Both have lead roles. One is character-wise, they're pretty much the same. One involves singing, one doesn't.
I'm gonna take the singing one.
All day. I knew
the singing one? Okay.
I can do both. I get to act and sing. It's a marriage.
Well, you're right. I guess that, yeah. But that tells me which one is first, though. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you said that you do like both, and you work with both styles inside most of your work. But is there like separate modes you go into, or is it the same artistic mode? So you know, like when people start to act, they kind of got to shift into that mindset. Or when somebody goes on stage, they got to do their old Sasha Fierce thing, like change into that singing mode. Do you switch into separate modes, or is it just into one mode?
I have had times where it depends on what I'm switching to. So I've done off-Broadway shows. So if I'm on an off-Broadway show, I'm singing and acting at the same time. However, if I had to go straight from this to a voiceover,
right,
it might be a bit difficult because the voiceover may ask me for something that my character on stage wasn't calling for. So it may take me a moment to just say a breath, and then I'll go into it. But generally, I don't have to take too much to wind down from one thing to go right into the other. I've held, as I told you, West Indian in my blood. So I've held so many different jobs at the same time. It's not tough for me to go into one thing from another, and I can keep them separate. However, if you're talking, I got 3 different films, a short film, and then 2 films, and I may need a moment to go from character to character. But yeah, it typically I don't need that much of I need a pause or a break in order to venture into something new. Not really.
Nice. OG.
So I got a question. You say you act and you've done some off-Broadway. Would there be any other people that you may have worked with that we may have known other than like family members that we know from Cicely Tyson? Has there been anyone else that, you know, we may have seen, or is there something that we can go to say, oh, she was in this, oh, okay, she was in that? What's some things that you may have been a part of? So
okay. So trying to think. Most of the films that I've recently done, you may not recognize a lot of those people because those were independent films. Most of the cast are newer actors and up and coming actors. But I'm trying to think. I have been on a few sets with my aunt, and I don't think the cameras were rolling at those times. So no, I've been on set with certain actors, but not necessarily filmed with them. And I'm just trying to run through every film I've done. I've done a lot recently. Not really too many folks. I had just finished a film called Sweet Burn, and that was shot in I'm sorry, I was about to say Cincinnati, Connecticut, and that's under Dame Dash Productions.
Okay.
I know y'all are familiar with Dame Dash. We didn't work directly with him, but the director, Willie Coggins, is partnered with Dame Dash Productions for all of our films and whatnot. So the work that I am doing now, you'll see me in and you'll be like, okay, I know her. However, other actors, again, up and coming, more so than established. Now, in the Dame Dash production films, those are more established actors. They've actually been around for quite a while. So yeah.
What are some of your favorite projects that you've done? I mean, film or singing or stage or whatever.
So the very first off-Broadway show I did was called Love in a Different Key. It was my first time playing a villain. It was so exciting. I got to wear a cat suit and a black and red wig. It was fantastic. And I sang in that one. I actually was the comic relief of the show, part of the comic relief, and it was fascinating. That was my first time doing a show in New York City, and it went off without a hitch. The director, Essence Mason, is actually looking into making that a film at this point. So yeah, that was one of my favorites. In terms of films recently, yeah, you keep asking now for the favorites. I don't really have a favorite. When you love what you do so much, it's difficult to separate the best or the ones that you love the most from the others, because in every single one, I was someone different. So I got to see and explore something different about someone else. So how can you find a favorite in each character, every person's shoes that you filled? That's difficult for me.
So that's great. I have another question, if you do not mind.
Yes, that's why we're here,
Tom. my question is, coming from DC to New York, and I lived in Philly for a long time, so I would go back and forth from DC, New York, Philly, Jersey, or whatever. So my question is, being as though you were doing acting and singing, if I do recall, in DC, right? So how were you able to get in the in crowd in New York? Because I hate to say it, everywhere you go, there's a clique in some degree with whatever you do. It's an in crowd. How were you able to squeeze into that and like, hey, this is who I am. I'm from DC, but I'm popping here. Like, what's good? You know what I mean? How were you able to make that transition?
Well, first of all, coming from DC, we're loud and we don't care who thinks what of us. I always come from a place of, and even Malachi touched on this, a position and posture of a student. So I always believe there's something more to learn. And so when I first got here, I'm not necessarily what you would consider shy. I'm not shy. So when I got here, I knew I wanted to see nightlife and music. Now, New York, just so that you know, was the one place I said I would never live. As a child, I thought New York was a horrible place. I thought people were mean and everybody was just so in their own zone that they were just very rude to people.
They say that about the East Coast, period.
Yeah, I know, right? But when I understood and took the time to really get to know the city itself, I realized that the folks here just all have their own lives and their own things going on. And that's just the pace of the city. So I decided to just enroll in some classes. I decided to just go to I went to certain bars where they had open mics. And the one that I did go to where I really wanted to go was Ashford and Simpson's Sugar Bar. And I found out that was one of my aunt's favorite spots. So, be it as it may, she took me to the Sugar Bar. She sat on the front row and she asked me, she leaned over, she says, "So are you going to sing?" I said, Valerie Simpson was sitting right in the front. I said, sure. And I got up and I sang. And the funny thing was, I'm not sure if you're probably familiar with the Sugar Bar, but everybody comes to the Sugar Bar. So there were just so many greats that had come through that door. I knew I was going to have to pull off some magic here. I got up. I didn't know what to sing. I said, all right, go with the first thing that comes to your mind. All right, Sweet Thing. Let's do it. I think Shaka Khan would have smiled at me. So I got up.
Well, that's good to hear.
And Valerie was there. She was part of the ensemble that sings. They accompany the singer. So I heard her singing. It was just nice. And I had a good time when I sat down. The whole table, we had a whole table. My aunt, she never went anywhere and did things small. So the whole table, all of us, it was like 9 of us there. Everybody was just clapping and cheering. And it was amazing. And I said, I refuse to let this be the only time that I have fun on stage in New York City. So I Googled open mics across New York City. And anytime I saw one that would happen, I just pop up. I just show up. I didn't necessarily perform, but I would go to see who was there and who was
be in the scene. Yeah.
And I again, I'm not shy, so I would see auditions for shows and bands looking for singers, and I just put my name in the hat and said, well, you never know. When you follow the belief that anything is possible, I believe I'm limitless. So that's how I'm able to engage in so many different things. And yeah, I just took the bull by the horns and I jumped in the ring with it.
Hey. Love it.
That's super dope. That's super dope.
Yeah, and on that note, I wanted to give one more note to anybody out there that is aspiring to do any aspect of what you do. And like you mentioned, going from the desire in your heart to making it a career and going that way. Give a quick note to anybody that's looking to be an artist, what they should do, what they should know, how to be the student of the game that you are. Give them a quick nugget.
Sure. I know people say never give up. That is like probably cheesy to some folks, but is so true to life. I believe I'm limitless. So for me, giving up is not an option because giving up means there's some kind of end or there's a finality. So when you believe in no limits, there's no finality. And even after death. So just don't focus on limitation. Believe that you are limitless and you'll go so much further. I pray. So that's just me. I am spiritual. So to me, I talk to who I believe God is. And I stay very much grounded in my faith and my spirituality. My aunt was the same way. The funny thing was she had several different tchotchkes and things that she had, her rosary, and then she had a Buddha, and then she had several different things, and she would meditate and pray. What I learned from her was that calming effect helps you to think and see clearly. So pray if that's what you do. Find ways to meditate and to quiet the mind. And the last thing I'll say is be a professional student. Student meaning open to learning, humble to learning, and always willing to learn. Professional meaning you carry yourself a certain way and be about that business, whatever that business may be. So marry the two and you've got a professional student.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm motivated now.
Absolutely. And the motivational minute was definitely based upon what I know you to be and who you are. So, and I've always been inspired by that way of thinking from you. So I definitely, it's been a great conversation. Let's give a round of applause to Renee Henry.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. I thank you for having me on. Malachi, you're the absolute best. Thank you for inviting me.
Quick thing, do you have like any music out right now?
So nothing nothing out released on like an album or LP. Okay. However, my producer and I are working on one. The goal is to have one finished before 2022 has ended, so that the release is in 2023.
So I got a little request.
Yes.
Before we exit off, you know what I mean? I got a little request. We can't find your music here. Okay. We can't find it there. Check your water. So I'm wondering if possible, can you give us like a couple bars? You know what I'm saying? If possible,
sure.
Can you hit us with a couple bars?
Of course. Well, in the spirit of believing in yourself, professionalism, being a student, and those things. I got to go with Whitney. Of course, she's always in my mind. And I'll give you I sang this just a few days ago for a friend of mine who was asking for inspiration in miracles. So this one is for all of those folks out there who are not necessarily sure about how to go about your dreams, but just believe in yourself. Okay. So here we go. Many nights we pray with no proof anyone could hear. In our hearts, a hopeful song we barely understood. Now we are not afraid, although we know there's much to fear. We were moving mountains long before we knew we could. There can be miracles when you believe. Though hope is frail, it's hard to kill. Who knows what miracles you can achieve when you believe? Somehow you will. You will when you believe. There you go.
Yeah.
That just touched my spirit. Yeah,
it touched you there. It touched you right there.
It hit me here. It hit me here.
I'm going to sing that the rest of the night right now.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm going to be in my house.
Yes, Daniel. Yes. Yes.
I hear a singer in your crew. All right.
Right. Right. You know you can sing when you inspire somebody else to try to hit a note.
Hey.
Let me get on.
When you start working that God finger up.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
That
this
was
has been
beautiful.
an absolute joy, gentlemen. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. You've
That
been a pleasure.
man.
Absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Let's give Renee another round of applause.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
And many blessings to your show. I listen when I can, and y'all keep me laughing, you keep me crying, you keep me solid. So please keep up the great work. I can't wait to listen to episode 100. I know that's
okay.
Yes.
That's what's up. We getting there. We so close. We got one more, and then 100 be here.
Right,
you know
on.
What I'm saying?
Right on.
Yeah, but we thank you, like Malachi said, for coming on board and being a part of the show. I'm blown away, as all the fellas are. Jake ain't said nothing the entire segment because he's blown away. You know what I mean? Look at him.
Jake, that was wonderful. Thank you.
You're so talented, man.
I'm going to talk robot testing and love robot testing. Yeah, but we thank you for coming on. The very special guest, Renee Henry, singer, songwriter, actress, and model on this episode 98. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mask Off. Do anybody got any last words before we bounce out of here? Do you have any shout outs, Miss Henry?
Well, I have to give a shout out to my acting coach, Mr. Michael Lugio. He is amazing. Michael Lugio, acting coach, and his studio. If you ever want to get some great work and get into script analysis and all of the wonderful things you can learn about the world of acting, Michael Lugio is it. So that my family, as always, I love you all. Malachi, love you, man. Always. You're my soul brother. And if you're interested in seeing any of my work, please look me up on Instagram, ReneeHenry_official.com. And that's ReneeHenry _ the word official. Or you can go to my website, ReneeHenryofficial.com. And that has tons of my singing performances, my modeling, and all of the above.
You laying down. Aww.
That That was my Central Park shoot. So yeah, actually, yeah, you can see the up and coming film Sweet Burn is supposed to be out before the end of this month on Tubi. So, yeah.
Nice. Yes.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dame Dash Studios presents. Love it.
Yes. Omar and Jerry and myself. That was excellent film. So that'll be out this month.
Super dope. Fellas, do you have any shout outs y'all want to give?
Yeah, this Saturday, pull up on me, and May 1st, ear to ear premiere at the theater in Farmington.
Jake, how about you, my brother?
Tomorrow, Ann Arbor, I'll be at Blown Meat Works, 10 p.m. Yeah, check me out there. No one's gonna drive out there, but yeah, come check me out there.
Maybe
Dan, anything?
Maybe they live out there already, Jake. No,
They don't. They don't.
Check out Mask Off each week, Monday and Friday.
All right. So other than I got a couple plugs. Check out Orilla Radio on Sundays at 5 p.m. Second and all, tomorrow, which is Saturday, check out Dinner Detectives with your boy Big Tone. I'll be surprising people who you never know who I may be. I may be a villain. I may be a special guest. I may be singing. Who knows? But come out, Dinner Detectives out in Troy at the Embassy Suites. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, let's close this thing down with the beautiful Miss Renee Henry _official. Always official, never phony, never fake. It's official. She's a singer, songwriter, actress, and a model. On this episode of 98 Mask Off, be here every week. We here every week. When we here? Monday
Every
through
week.
Friday. Nope. Friday, 9 p.m. Showstopper, we up out of here. Malachi, talk to him.
Showstopper.
What Miss Henry at? She need to hit the last note.
When you bully.